See, all right, like since we talked about Shrek 1, I think I landed like somewhere on like probably high side. I liked it. I think I'm definitely in loved it category for this one. I do think this is absolutely a better movie than the first Shrek. You're right. It doesn't really discourage, or disparage the first Shrek, but I almost kind of counter that with this movie's existence makes Shrek 1 worse. And it's the mere existence of Puss in Boots, because when you go back and watch the first Shrek, something just feels missing because there's no Puss in Boots.
It's rare whenever you introduce a character in a sequel and they feel right at home from the first scene. And then whenever you go back before that, like even like in TV shows, it's the weirdest thing ever. Like Parks and Rec introduces Rob Lowe and Adam Scott. Yeah, they introduced them at like the end of season 2, and then you go back and watch the first season and the beginning of season 2, and you're like, wait, something missing. Yeah.
Well, but like something's missing, right?
Can we use this as a quick aside to talk about how much of a love-hate relationship I actually have with theaters? Because I love watching a movie on the big screen with the surround sound and all that.
But people are terrible.
I hate people in theaters. When I saw Knives Out, it was, again, a packed theater on opening night. And after you find out all the stuff Marta did, and like, there was an old couple sitting behind us. I'm pretty sure the man fell asleep during a section, because all of a sudden I heard the wife explaining everything that had just happened to the guy very loudly. And it was driving me nuts because it was like a quiet part of the movie.
Yeah.
And my passive aggressive stare actually worked this time, because I turned around, gave them a look, and then they stopped talking. So I was very happy about it.
Look, my Knives Out experience was worse because I went to an early screening, and we were running a little bit behind. So we showed up to the theater about 15 minutes after the movie's supposed to start, which like it was a relatively small theater and every seat was taken. But I like had my ticket stub. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be here right now in this seat. So I'm like, hey, you're in my seats. And the people gave me a look like I was the jerk. And it's like, you're in my seat that I paid for. Yeah. Like, show me your ticket. What the crap? So anyway.
That was Robert and Aaron in We Love Movie Theaters.
But we hate people.
If you would ask me when I first saw it, I've been like, this is the most amazing movie I've ever seen. It kind of revolutionized the comic book movie as we see it today.
It was that 1-2 punch of X-Men and Spider-Man, but yeah, for sure.
Had a huge influence. But like nowadays, like recently watching it, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I think J.K. Simmons is probably the best part about the movie. And Willem Dafoe is just chewing up scenery in this movie. I think Mary Jane Watson is not a really well-written character. I think they could have pulled from the source material a little better. I think that James Franco was miscast as Harry.
And also surprised Octavia Spencer.
I just totally forgot about that. Yeah, she's in it. Elizabeth Banks is in it. Joe Manganiello. Like, these people... And Joe
Manganiello looks like he's 45 in this movie.
He's the biggest high schooler I've ever seen in my life. It looks like he ate the original Flash Thompson. Like
he looks like he was teleported from Now, and then they just gave him a clean shave.
Yeah.
I did watch the first episode. I'm not sure if the second episode came out but for Loki, as someone who is kind of mixed on the MCU being a TV, like having been a TV show. WandaVision, I am really mixed on. I don't think its great moments are in the beginning, but kind of it falls a little flat towards the end. I watched halfway of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and just said this is just like the MCU solo. Like the world wouldn't really matter if I watched the full season.
As somebody who liked the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but definitely can understand, like you're really not missing much by the second. I think there's some really good thematic stuff, specifically with Sam wrestling with donning the stars and stripes as a black person. I think there's some really good stuff in there.
Yeah.
So I totally understand the meh to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. And I am 100% on Loki. It's time for that one random question, and I want to know, what's your favorite candy bar?
I haven't had candy in 7 years now.
Oh,
no. So,
how are you happy?
Drugs. I mean, like, prescribed drugs.
Fair. Let's keep the ball rolling and let's talk about Fast and Furious 9 for our coming attraction, because I mean, if there's anything these movies are, it's fun. That's the one thing that they mostly do right. How excited are you guys about this movie?
I haven't seen a Fast and the Furious since Too Fast, Too Furious. So
Opening weekend.
Probably gonna skip this one.
Opening weekend. The addition of John Cena, it's like, are we just going for all your when is Bautista gonna come in here?
Bautista said he only does good movies. Haven't you seen that quote?
No, but that's the perfect response.
He said, "I only do good movies," and then he went on to do Stuber and
Army
the
of the
Spy
Dead.
movie. Yeah.
Let's talk about Too Fast, Too Furious. Frank, you're gonna be surprised. I really like this movie.
It's pretty low for me.
Okay.
And I remember when it came out, when I found out the title, I went, wow, this title is horrible.
Yep.
They got really lazy on the title because now we just got, all right, are they going to use Fast or are they going to use Furious this time?
Well, and let's
now
not
just-
forget Fast and Furious.
Drop the.
Look, Too Fast, Too Furious is better than The Fast and the Furious 2, but you're right, it's a bad title. Look, I think this movie has a lot of fun, and that's the thing, with the introduction of Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson. They're a match made in heaven for this franchise. People talk about The Rock saving this franchise. Well, before The Rock saved the franchise, which he did, by the way, Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson saved this franchise, and sure,
Ejectocito, cuz.
Sure, it's upsetting that apparently Vin Diesel didn't want to be a part of the sequel, and so they had already written a Fast and Furious 2, and then they had to completely rewrite when Vin Diesel said he didn't want to come back because he was doing something.
Well, all they
else.
had to do was just change out one character's name and add an introduction scene.
Right.
Although
Yeah,
I still think it would be hilarious watching Dominic Toretto just try to yell out "Ejectocito, cuz."